that I went through a number of pubs in Dublin looking for a way to understand the way partitioning works, within the bar, and found a horseshoe bar in a hotel there that had this kind of partitioning on the bar top, and had these adjacent rooms that are called snugs that were designed originally to bring women into the pubs, to keep them separate from the men, and men separate from the women. And so I got very interested in this structure. So this form became central to the story, and this bar was designed before the story was ever scripted.
So it's an example of the story, in a sense, evolving out of an object, which related to an idea which you had, but not a story yet.
Right, and if the bar were a level, then the level needed a plumb bob, and the plumb bob ended up being the bartender, who was sort of connected by a cord at his waist back to the apex of the bar, and from that the story grew out of it, this sort of physical comedy sketch that tried to reinforce this notion of the building not being square to the earth. One of the other things that I started thinking about as the story developed was that the way that the 5 films could become a chorus within Cremaster 3 in a number of different scenes, and that ended up being true in the demolition derby and in the horse race scene.
What do you mean by chorus?
Well, again, in the sense that the Chrysler Building, as its central character, would have this ambition to understand the whole project. That there would need to be a kind of chorus where each film had a representative. So within the demolition derby scene, there are 5 cars that hold the emblem on the back of each car from each film. Same with the horse race scene. Each Cremaster has a team of harness horses. And in this scene filmed in the Guggenheim, each film has an allegorical representative. Cremaster 1 being a chorus line.
Like the chorus line in, like the Busby Berkeley characters of the halftime show on the football field.
Right, and in this case they're in lamb outfits, which would correspond to the first degree in Freemasonry, or the initiation into the first degree, which is the presentation of the lambskin apron. Number 2 would be represented by 2 classic New York hardcore bands, Agnostic Front and Murphy's Law. We made a stage for them to play on of Salt, and I was interested in the exhibition to make a kind of an eroded state of that form. And the puzzle that sits between them, which was solved by the contestant of this game, is sort of taken to a place that it wasn't taken in the film. I think in each case, these levels have been abstracted beyond their role in the film.
So the sculptures that are here relate to but aren't what you see in the film.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think maybe we should take a step back, because you said a game. So the fact is that Cremaster 3 ends with this game, which you call the Order.
Right. So in some way, that binary narrative we were talking about between the apprentice and the architect fractures in the end of Cremaster 3, and the architect, played by Richard Serra, takes the fifth degree at the top of the game, and the entered apprentice becomes the contestant within this game.
You now are the entered apprentice. That's you in the film,
right?
Climbing up the side of the Guggenheim. And in fact, as part of the installation here, you have left along the ramps these, what do you call them?
These climbing clips.
Climbing clips, yeah.
Yeah. So the contestant has to advance through each level of this game and solve a different problem on each level. So this ends up being the sort of site-specific component of the exhibition that again tries to categorize the 5 projects as well as sort of finish the narrative of Cremaster 3.
Essentially, you, in enacting this game, it's almost like a video or computer game, are progressing through the 5 films. And each of these elements that you contend with at the different levels, like, as you said, that chorus line or these bands, they correspond to similar elements in each of the films 1 through 5.
Right.
So then you move to, so you said in the order, then they're the bands in the 3rd level.
Right.
We're coming to actually.
Right. Yeah, Amy ends up playing about 5 different characters in number 3. She's, in a certain way, is the mirror of the apprentice. And here, within the order sequence, she's portraying a kind of double character, both of which refer to her own persona, and that Amy's a fashion model and was a record holder in the 100 meters and the long jump in the Paralympics. And these carbon fiber legs that had been developed for Amy to run competitively follow the form of the hind leg of a cat. And when I first met Amy, I was interested in first in creating this character for her, which like with Richard Serra or Murphy's Law, were essentially portraying themselves. Amy's character is a bit more abstracted, obviously, in that here we'll see her mutate from this runway model character to a cheetah character.
But here's a moment when the two of you are sort of playing a similar part, and since another sort of theme of Cremaster is a gender theme, gender identity, that she seems like someone who is a sort of female alter ego for you. I mean, you had played football in school, and you did some modeling as well, and so was that part of what your attraction to her was as a character in the film?
For sure, that she could, as an actress, could take on the role of the novice and play in a narrative way an opposing role or a mirror role to the apprentice, but also would have that kind of relationship to mine, a kind of autobiographical relationship to me in that way.
So she is, she's another stage in the order.
Right, third degree.
The third degree.
And the third degree speaks to the notion of killing your lower self, and of the notion of I guess trying to enact the role of Haram, who was killed for by apprentices in the construction the Solomon's Temple.